Good morning, everyone. My name is Afifa Alawi. With me is Courtney and Roger, and Chad is here for moral support. Just kidding. Um, Welcome to Canvas to Gradebook setup workshop. Um, Let me actually start. Okay. So some regular housekeeping rules. If you have questions, please feel free to type your question in the chat. Obviously, we are going to have live Q&A at the end of our session, and we will have the evaluation link provided to you at the end of the session. And please make sure to complete the evaluation. As I mentioned, with me is Courtney and Roger, and we will be hosting this session today. In today's session, I will go over how to create graded assignments in Canvas, how you can grade the assignments in a gradebook, and also obviously I will provide all these through a live demo, and we will go over some grading settings, gradebook settings in Canvas as well. And as I mentioned, we are going to have a live Q&A at the end of our session. I will not take so much of your time in a static PowerPoint. I want to switch to live demo, and in the live demo, I will go over the gradebook within the gradebooks, within the gradebook and the assignment tool in the Canvas LMS. So I will be back and forth between these two tools and walk you through the steps. Okay, let me switch to the Canvas LMS. So as I mentioned, I will go over the gradebook, and I want to have my notes handy to not forget anything. There are two ways to create your graded assignments in Canvas. You can create them as you are building your content and the course modules. So, for example, as I'm creating week 2 and I'm uploading the learning content, and as I create the graded assignments for that week or that module, I'm actually building these grading, basically graded assignments in the gradebook itself. So contrary to the beach board, where we had to create the assignments, the graded assignments, and create the grade items and link them, in Canvas, it's not like that, thankfully. So as you're creating the graded assignments, the grade items are created in the gradebook automatically. So there's one way to just, as you're building your modules, you will create the graded assignments. Or you can just jump to the assignments itself, and you can create all, like you can just put your syllabus in front of you, and you can create the grade categories or groups and grade items. As I mentioned in the previously and not previously, so in Beachboard, we have, when we are creating a gradebook, we have the grade assignments and grade items. It's the same in Canvas, but they're just named differently. In Canvas, each category is named groups. So instead of calling them categories, we will call them groups. And it is a little different, but the functionality is different, 100% the same. I'm going to switch back to the grids.
Hey, Afifa,
Yes.
you're still sharing your PowerPoint.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow. Let me.
We still have the title screen up.
Your screen sharing is paused. Oh, it's paused. Let me stop share, and thanks for letting me know.
Sure.
Okay, let me reshare my. Okay. So let me go back to the assignments. Okay. So as I mentioned, in Beachboard, we have categories and grade items, but in Canvas, the categories are just titled as groups. And we create those groups and we create the grade items within these groups. Then, as I mentioned, the functionality is almost 100% the same. So I will come back to the assignment page later, but first I want to cover a few features of the gradebook. Am I sharing good?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you are.
Thanks. Okay. So in the Canvas Gradebook, the first thing that I want to cover is the view. So as of now, we are in the standard view, which is kind of a spreadsheet view, but under the Gradebook, which is located under the upper left corner of the page, almost upper left corner, there are a few more view options, such as Learning Mastery, Individual Gradebook, and Gradebook History. I personally would suggest for the faculty to stay in the standard view at the beginning because we're new to the Canvas itself and we want to first become very comfortable with the Canvas Gradebook. And once you're comfortable and once you're like 100%, you have 100% the understanding of the gradebook, then you can switch to the other views. And I would stay in the standard view as well. And when you're in the gradebook tool of the Canvas, there are you have a few options under the gradebook setting or under this gear icon, which is located in the upper right corner of the page. As I click, as you can see, we will face a few more options. The first one is the late policies. So if you click on late policies, which actually, once I click on gradebook settings, it lands on the late policies. In here, you can set some late policies for your course. For example, if you check automatically apply grade for missing submissions, then which grade do you want to assign for missing submissions? Do you want to assign a 0? Do you want to assign a 10%? So it's up to you and up to the requirements or circumstances of your course. The next option is automatically apply deduction to late submissions. So it's up to you. Do you want to automatically apply, like doesn't apply any deduction? Or do you want to apply 5% deduction after how many days? So you can totally change the deduction interval, the late submission deduction, and those possible grade that you want to assign into your gradebook. And as you're making these changes, please make sure at the end to click on Apply Settings. The next tab, which is the grade posting policy, in here you have you have the option to automatically post grades, or if you want to manually post grades. If you select the manually post grades, in here there are some options and then some explanations that I would encourage you to make yourself familiar with. And they're advanced, they're not much. Allow final grade override. If you check this box, then you will be able to override the final grade. However, under the view options, there are some more features that you can look for. So for example, as of now, I have selected my gradebook to be arranged of, by modules. So from first module to last module. So they and I feel from my point of view, it should again, depending on the nature of your course, you might select a different arrangement. But from my point of view, making first module first to last makes more sense As the students are taking quizzes, they're submitting documents, and as you're grading, they can see that they're grading progressing from left to right. And as you can see, there are more options. There is the default order, there is the assignment name A to Z, assignment name Z to A, and there are some more options that you can select from. And also, you can select what do you want your students to see. Do you want them to see notes that you're making, unpublished assignments? So there are some more options under show that you can select. We have the status color in Beachboard, and it's the same. We have some status colors for late assignments, missing, resubmitted assignments, dropped, and excused that you can pick a color, or you can change these colors for these kind of assignments. And as I mentioned, as you're making changes to your gradebook setting, please make sure to click on apply settings. Since I haven't made any changes, so the apply setting is not activated for me. But as soon as I make a change, then it will be activated. And please make sure to click apply settings so your changes can be saved. Okay, I want to make sure I cover everything. Settings, okay. Okay,
Can I ask a quick question?
sure.
One thing that sort of confused me with Canvas, I know like in Beachboard, I had to manually associate each assignment with a grade. Do we need to do that in Canvas, or as soon as we create the assignment, it's automatically,
Yes.
like when we grade it, it will automatically show up in the grade book? I
Yes.
couldn't figure that out.
Yes. Yes. So as you're creating, as I mentioned at the beginning of the today's session, as you're creating your graded assignments. So for example, you're creating a quiz or creating a discussion assignment or a Dropbox assignment. As we are creating these, the graded assignment, especially for discussions, for example, if you select that as graded assignment, then the grade item will be created in the gradebook automatically. There is no need to link them. There is no need to create a separate grade item.
Okay, thank
Gwen?
you.
Sure.
Yeah, so I guess I didn't see where it said graded item, but it's like everything did show up in a grade book. And then
Yes.
also some things that I didn't want in the grade book. So one thing I wanted to ask you about is how can we delete items from the grade book? I don't know if you're going to get to that, but
Yeah. Yes. I will get to that as well.
okay,
Yes.
thanks.
So before switching from the gradebook back to the assignment, I want to cover some features which are for every single grade item or every single column. So as I hover my mouse over each of these grade items, I can see three vertical dots, which are the options feature for each grade item. And if I click, as you can see, there are more features or more settings or more options available for you to grade. So for example, for the quiz shell that I have in here, if I click sort by, I can sort these grades by low to high, high to low, with missing or late. So I can sort each of these um, this particular grade by these options. As of now, it's sorted by low to high. I can change it to high to low. And now it is, oh, I didn't, high to low. Yeah. I don't know why this one comes here. It should not. A speed grader, I will go over this in detail in a few minutes. If you want to message your students about this particular grade item, you can click on message student who. Then as I click, so you have the option to message students who have not submitted their assignment yet, who have not been graded yet, who have scored more than, for example, if in my class, if my students score more than 90%, I might want to congratulate them or send message them with some encouraging words, or students who have scored less than maybe 70%, and like message them and like make them aware that they need to work hard, or like if there is an extra credit or something. So you have this option. And as you're making you're typing your message, please make sure to click send so it can send it to those students. The next option is the curve grades. If you want to curve your grades, please make sure, please remember that it's not reversible. So as you're selecting to curve grades in this particular grade item, then whatever you select, it will stay, and it cannot be changed, and it cannot be reversed. I select curve grades accidentally. Okay. The next item is set a default grade. For example, you want to give all students 5% or 2% for a grade item. Say, for example, for midterm 1. Say, for example, you want to give the attendance as, like, for example, participation points for students who have attended, or for all students. Then if I click set grade, say, for example, I want to give 2 points or 2%, and as I click setting grades, it will give every single student 2%. If this, for example, in here, the grades are not posted for the group discussion, if I click on post grades, then a screen will pop up. And if I want to post the grades for everyone, and then you can click post, and this hidden grade item will be visible to students. And also the next item is, if I want to hide grades for this particular grade item, I can click hide, and the grades will be hidden from students. The next item is enter grade as. For example, for the group discussion, I only have points and percentages because I haven't selected any other grade type, and I will go over later once I switch back to the assignment. For this particular grades posting policy, if I select on this, you can select it as the grade to be published automatically, or if you want to publish it manually. Again, we have the same features in here, and you can review this, and you can select which, like if you want grade for this particular grade item, if you want students' grades to be posted automatically or manually. Okay, making sure I'm covering everything. Okay, let me switch to the assignment. So once you're in the gradebook, your course navigation menu will disappear. So by clicking on the course title, I will go back. It will take me back to the course home, and from here, wherever you want to go, you can select on that grade, on that icon, I mean on that tool from the course navigation menu. Obviously, I want to go to the course assignment. So in Canvas, the assignments feature or assignments tool has two functionalities. It works both as the course Dropbox that we have in Beachboard, and as the course Gradebook setup that we have in Beachboard. So basically two different features of the course that we had in D2L in Beachboard, which are the Dropbox and the course Gradebook setup, are combined under the assignments. So if I create Dropbox items, it will be landed under the assignments, and also my Gradebook categories and items are housed in here as well. So For my sandbox, I have created the assignments group or category. I will just go with group because we don't use a category in Canvas anymore. I have created the discussion group, the quizzes group, exams group, and the extra credit. I will go over the extra credit later once I cover the extra credit, but exams, quizzes, discussions, and assignments are my 4 main groups. As of now, as you can see, each of these groups, I haven't assigned any percentage or weight to any of these groups. If I go to the, click on these 3 dots or these 3, the vertical option dots, which are basically the option. If I click in here, and if I click on edit assignment dates, I can change each assignment's due dates. But if I click on assignments groups weights, it will take me to this window, and in here you can select certain weights for each of your assignments based on the needs and requirements of your course. So for example, if I select 25 for my assignments, 25 for the discussions, and 25% for a course quizzes, and 25% for the course exams. As I mentioned, I will leave extra credit at 0, and I will go over this later. So even if I so as of now, the total of the for all of these 4 groups, the total is 100%. But for example, if I change assignments to say 40%, for example, which goes above 100%, and the total is 115% now. As you can see, I do not get a note or a warning that my total of the total of my assignments are not is above 100%. So it's up to the faculty to make sure the total of the categories are 100%. So it is not beyond 100%. Okay, let's see. And here's not anything else, but for each of the groups that I have created, I can edit this group. I can delete it. I can move the content and move the group up and down. And also for each of the grade assignments or grade items that I have for each of the groups, we have some features. I can edit this grade assignment that I will do later. I can duplicate this. So for example, in Beachboard, we don't have the duplicate option. So for example, if the faculty wants to have 15 quizzes for each week, the faculty have to go 15 times and create 15 quizzes. But in here, fortunately, by clicking on duplicate, we can duplicate the assignment, and we can just go and make some adjustments and like edit the title, edit the due date, and obviously add the questions, because in each quiz you will have different questions.
Afifa,
Yes.
could you show again how you created a group?
Sure, yeah, thanks. So if I click, thanks, Roger. So if I click on the plus group in here, so I have created these groups previously. If I click on the plus group button, which is the gray button located on the almost upper right corner of the page, and if I, for example, title this exams again, and I assign a certain percentage, say 10%, and if I click save, then the group will be a graded group will be created, and it will land in the bottom of the assignments page. And in here, by hovering your mouse over these 8 dots, which are located on the far left side of the created group, you can move this wherever you want. And if I don't want to have this, I can just click in here, and I can click on the vertical 3 dots which is the options, and I can select delete, and I can delete it. Thanks, Roger, for reminding me. Okay, yeah, so for each of the grade items, we have some more options. As I mentioned, you can duplicate, you can move the grade item up and like somewhere else. We haven't covered the mastery path, and we will cover later in later webinars. I'm not going to cover the mastery path in this workshop. Obviously, you can delete, send it to someone within the institution, copy this grade item to one of your other courses or other sections, or you can share it to the common. Let me see. So the practice assignment, this is a discussion board. I'm sorry, this is a Dropbox item or assignment item. So this little page with a little pin indicates that this is a assignment or Dropbox item. This little text bubbles indicates that this particular grade item is a discussion grade item. The rocket, which is kind of bold, this indicates that this is a new quiz. It's a quiz, but so in Canvas, we have the classic quiz tool and the new quiz tool. So the bold rocket indicates that this is a quiz which has been created with the new quiz tool, and the blank rocket indicates that this is a quiz which has been created with the classic quiz tool. I will go over, I will click on practice assignments and I will edit this. So as soon as you click on any of these graded items from the assignment page, you'll not have much. So you can, in here, you can only edit this particular grade item's title and due date and how much it worth. But if I click on more options, it will actually take me to this particular assignment. Here I can change the description. I can add points. Obviously, I can change its group to assignments, discussion, quizzes, all the groups that you have, or you can create a new group item for this particular grade item. Now in here is where you can select how this grade item will be displayed in the gradebook and how students will see their grades. Do you want this grade item to be as students see their grades as percentage, as complete and complete, as points, letter grades A through F, GPA scale, or you might select a grade item to be not graded at all. So you have these options that I mentioned that I will go over later. I'm not going to cover anything else in here because this relates to the assignment itself. And as you're making these changes, please make sure to save your changes. Okay, so again, I want to make sure I covered everything. I'm going to switch back to the gradebook and I will click on grades from the course navigation menu. So as I mentioned, you have, okay, let me go actually to assignments. So in here, as you can see in the assignments, we have I have 5 groups: the assignments, discussion, quizzes, exams, and the extra credit. And within each of these grade groups, I have grade items. And this actually, this exact look will reflect in the gradebook itself. So let me click on grades and let me go back to the gradebook. So in here, each of my grade items will appear on the left side of the gradebook, my gradebook. However, the 5 categories or 5 groups that I have, they will appear on the far right side of the gradebook. So since these are grade items, the assignments, discussion, quizzes, and the rest, I will not be able to enter grades for these assignments. As I click, it doesn't give me an option to enter grades. Why? Because once all the grades, as I'm actually entering grades in the grade items for the discussion group, the total of those grades will be populated under the discussion. For example, for quizzes, the grades already have been populated. So you might wonder why I'm not able to enter grades for discussions, because it's not a grade item, it's actually a group. However, for the grade items, we are able to enter grades manually. For example, for for the practice assignment. Say, for example, if I want to, actually, let me see. So in here, I am able to enter grade as points or percentages, and I have selected percentages. If I want to enter grades for this grade item as points, I can just click on this grade item, and for example, if I insert 10, and for mark, if I insert 5, I can just easily enter grades like this, or I can just delete them like this, just by clicking and hit the delete key from my keyboard. Or I can just click on the speed grader, and I go to click on the speed grader, and with the speed grader, I have some more flexibilities. Dr. Stephen Adam is here, and I'm using eTech 525, my assignment, just as an example, while I was Dr. Adam's student. So for example, this is for MRSA. Let me actually switch back to another assignment. Say, for example, for midterm 2, I want to use the speed grader, and as I will switch back to that assignment later. And here, the students, for example, might not have an assignment or might have an assignment. So if you want to, you might have their assignments as like their hard copies in your hand, and you just want to enter their grades, and you can use the speed grader feature, and you can enter their grades. As you're entering, you have the flexibility of typing like feedback for your students. You can type grades, or you can just you can use the text to speech, I'm sorry, speech to text feature. And as you can talking, this feature will type your feedback, and you can, so by obviously by hitting the record, you can actually record your voice, and it will change it to text. You can also just record like a video in here by hitting the start recording. I can use the webcam, and you can use the mic, and I can record my feedback as a voice or a video for students. And even I can upload and add an attachment to my feedback. You have the option of adding emojis, and you have a good collection of emojis in here, and you can add these emojis to your feedback. And as you're grading the student's assignment, and you're adding your feedback as you submit, you can move forward to your next students. So this way you can grade your students using the speed grader feature. Let me go back to the practice assignment. And in here, it's the features. If the students have submitted, if obviously it's a Dropbox, or let's stick with the assignment. If it's a submitted assignment, then we have some more options. I don't have a rubric, but if you have rubrics, you will have your rubric in the right side of the screen as well. And with holding your mouse over this little gray bar, you have the option to make this area a little bigger or smaller, especially if you have a rubric in here for this assignment. And let me move to, for example, page 3. And as you're going through, you have the same as the Dropbox feature in Beachboard. You have some options. You can draw a box, and you can leave your comments in here, and you can like draw lines, strike through. How come it's not working? It's just giving me a hard time. So you have that option. It was working fine. I don't know why I did it previously. And also you can type, you can highlight, you can use the word bubble, and you can, let me see. So for example, in here, I can just, I want to type, leave comments. If I want to go like change, just stick with my cursor, I will just click on the little arrow. If I click on this double headed arrow, my screen will change to a full screen. And by clicking on this like opposite arrows, I can exit the full screen. I can zoom in, zoom out, and I can download this page, this document in my machine. If I click on the little gear, it will take me to the settings of this little feature, the speed grader of this feature. If I want to hide, I can just click hide grade, so student will not be able to see their grades. And if I click on this little notebook with check mark, it will take me back to the gradebook. And as I'm grading using the speed grader, if I click on these, the right arrow and left arrow, I can just switch between students, and this way I can leave comment for students. I can grade them using the rubric, or just like as I'm going through their submitted assignment, I can grade their assignments. I can leave comments, grade them, and I will make sure to submit. So I can, when I move to next student, my changes are saved. Okay, this was the speed grader. Okay, from here, I'm going to, as I mentioned, if I click on this little icon, this is the gradebook icon, and this icon will take me back to the gradebook. So in Beachboard, we had the extra credit feature within, like well designed within the gradebook. So far, Canvas doesn't have that feature, but we have found a workaround, or the workaround is maybe it's always there. So let me switch back to the assignments. And in the assignments, as I mentioned, I created the extra credit group, and I haven't assigned any percentage or point value or weight for the extra credit because I want to keep this group as extra credit. And as I'm going throughout the semester, or maybe at the beginning, you already have designed or planned how many extra credit you want to give to your students, so you can create those extra credit assignments. And as you're going through the course, you can enter these great extra credits for your students who have completed those extra credits in the gradebook. And that's it. Chad, do you think I should add anything else, or we're good enough?
No, you've been very thorough.
Okay. If you have any questions, feel free. I see that there are 22 items in the chat, so I was so focused on my explanation that I even didn't look at the chat feature. Thanks to Roger and Courtney and chat, they're doing great with taking care of the chat. If you have any questions, feel free and mute yourself or raise your hand, and we will be more than happy to answer your questions. Yes, Amy?
Hi. When Gwen said she saw things in her grade book that she didn't put there, I felt the same way. But I'm thinking now that you've explained that the left-hand side are the assignments and the right-hand sides are the groups, I think that makes sense. But I'm wondering, because I feel like there's just too much in the book. Can I not see the, do you know what I mean? The stuff on the right-hand side, is there an option for me to like, I don't want them there?
Yes, yes, you actually have the option to hide them.
Awesome.
Yeah. I remember I had them before, and yeah, I have the same feeling as you. For me, it's kind of crowded. I did remember that I had hide them. Let me see if it is. Chad, do you remember where it is?
I don't remember how to hide the group columns. Let me
I
poke
did
around.
before. Yeah, I did before. I remember when I was working with a faculty member, I was able to hide them. Let me see. Edit. No, this is the assignment dates. I did remember that I hide them. I will get back to you, Amy, and I will.
Yeah, I'll poke around too. I'll look up around.
Thanks, Chad.
Great,
Yeah,
thank you. I'm
yeah.
sure it's something I could just get used to. But if there is a way to clean it up a little, that'd be great too.
It is. For sure it is, because I did it.
Yeah.
But now I forgot how I did it. But I can I can definitely either Chad or I. If Chad couldn't find it today, I will get back to you.
Awesome.
And I will send send you an email to send you the steps how to hide them. Dr. Adams?
Thank you.
Yes.
No problem.
Well, and thank you for a very interesting and informative presentation. So I have a question that relates to breaking an assignment into multiple parts. So I want to lay out a whole assignment, and then I want to have people work on it in chunks. And in fact, it just so happens it's the exact assignment that you used as an example. So, so for a paper, a paper assignment, I want to lay out the whole assignment, and then, step 1 is do the topic, step 2 an outline, step 3 a draft, and step 4 the whole thing. So it occurred to me one option would be to just break that all into 4 separate pieces and present them separately, but I'd kind of like to have a whole unified presentation. So I wondered if you have any suggestions for structuring that in Canvas, given the way that it works.
Yeah, so while you're explaining, the first thing that came to my mind is, so for example, it could be the course discussions, right, Dr. Adams, like what I remember from 525.
No, the course, the paper.
The paper, okay.
Yeah, so it's the paper. So step 1, do the topic. Step 2, outline. Step 3, a draft, and step 4, the whole thing. And so laying out the whole, I want to, I would lay out the whole thing in on one page. So, I mean, I was thinking maybe I could lay it out somewhere and then link to it from other individual assignments. But
yeah, how about, like, I was like, as you were explaining, so I like, from my point of view, I would just create a group for the course paper, for example. Then I will create items, like, for example, course paper, right? Sometimes it just gets lazy. So I will create one group, and within that, the title of that group would be, for example, course paper or the research paper. Then every single element or every single step 1 would be one grade item. Step 2 would be the second grade item. You might want to select to go that way.
Yeah, well, that I see that, it would have individual items in a group, but then what's missing in that is the whole assignment in one place. If I spread it into parts, then it won't all be in one place. So then, and
Like the way I see it, Dr. Adams, like I don't want to argue with you, but like for example, I don't know why it's not working. It's just so slow. Let me close a few tabs so it can work a little faster. Let me switch back and forth. So for example, I'm in the assignment, and if I create one group, say for example, course paper, course paper, and say for example that it was maybe 40 points. Say for example, I will save this, and it's course paper, this one, let me bring it to the top so we can just concentrate on this course paper. So then you want to create an item in here, create item, say for example, step 1, I would just call it step 1. Then you will have the due date, and maybe this step 1 worth 5 points. I will save it. Then obviously this is a Dropbox or assignment.
Right.
Then I will create the next one, will be the step 2. Step 2. I don't recall, it was so many years ago.
Right. That's okay. Whatever.
Maybe,
steps is fine.
yeah, so it was 10 points, for example. So I will create the rest, all of them. All of them exist within the course paper. And if I switch like all the steps, maybe it includes 4 steps or 5 steps. So they all are housed under the course paper, and course paper worth 40% of the course grade. And when I go to the grades, in here, they will not stay within, like each of them will be separated, or you might choose from the view to have them all come side by side or stand side by side. Yeah. So this is how, like, from my point of view, this is how it can be done.
So can the category have narrative information in it? Can there be like a text discussing the assignment in the category itself, or will the discussions only happen in the individual pieces?
I didn't follow. I couldn't understand your question. I'm sorry.
So you have a category and step. So I'm sure that each step I can write some information about what is expected. But
Yes.
I'm asking, can I write in the category some information
Okay.
about
Let's
the
see.
whole thing?
No, the category is pretty limited.
Okay, well then, I still have my question because where I started my question is that I wanted to lay out the whole assignment, not chopped into pieces. I can, for purposes of grading, I need pieces, but for laying out the assignment, I'd like to lay out the assignment not in pieces.
Okay, so the explanation, you mean?
So the whole explanation, the whole discussion of the assignment. So
that for that, what you can do, you can, for example, we have the text entry assignment. You can select the text entry assignment, and in here, you can explain the entire thing, like the entire assignment. If I click on more options, so you can explain the entire assignment and the one piece in here.
Okay.
With the text entry, yes. Then if you want that, you can give the text entry the entire 40 points, and then you can divide, you can create the each pieces. We can, like, if you want, Dr. Adams, we can work with you to design. Yeah, so we can truly go over actually understand the nature of the assignment. Right. It was 6 years. No, it was 2014. I got graduated in 2014, so it was like 8 years ago. I forgot.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can, definitely we can work with you. Any of us, Feel
Okay.
free to send an email to to ATS that dash instruction design and ask for a consultation. If you want
Okay.
a particular ID, we can work with you, Chad or Roger or I.
Okay.
And yes, and we can set your that particular assignment or your entire gradebook for you.
Yes. All right. Thanks.
No problem.
Hey,
Chad?
Afifa, I found how to hide those
Thanks.
columns, so I can show really quick.
Yeah, let me stop sharing. Thanks, Chad.
Yeah, this was an earlier question about how to hide those group columns, those gradebook group columns, and you can do that. So here are those. I actually already hid them, but you go right here to gradebook settings, and it's view options, and there's a checkbox for hide assignment group totals.
Thanks, Chad.
You can see my screen, right? So if I uncheck that, you'll see my my groups pop back up there. And I could hide those here. View options, hide assignment totals. Right?
Thanks, Chad.
Sure.
Amy? No, not Amy. I'm sorry. Neelan?
Hi, yes. So I was asking earlier in the chat, and I think Roger had shared a link with me, but the quizzes, I have it set to automatically release the grades and it's not doing so. I'm not sure if there's another setting or something I need to click to allow that to work.
So, Afifa, can I mention one thing?
Yeah, go ahead. If you want to share, I can stop sharing.
It's okay.
Okay.
I think it might have to do, one possibility, Nylene, is that it has to do with what kinds of questions are in your quiz.
Mhm.
If there's even one question that needs to be manually graded, like
Yeah,
free
a free
response
response.
question,
Mhm.
then you'll need to do that first before it's before the total quiz grade is in the grade book. Do you
Okay.
think that could be why?
So there is one question, but it's not worth any points because it's going to be a bonus question. And what I looked up is that you can't, there's no way to set to add a question into any exam or quiz and have it be counted as bonus. I know there was in Beachboard, but in Canvas there wasn't. So the recommendation was to make the question 0 points and then manually grade it afterward. I think I was just expecting the rest of the questions that are multiple choice to be automatically graded. But if it applies to the whole thing, then, you know.
Yeah, so those, like, if you didn't have that question, I think it would be automatically graded, like, because all the other questions are being automatically graded. Right
Okay.
now, I think it's just that one question. That's my guess, but maybe Chad
Yeah,
has another.
Yeah, there's one other thing I can show Nylene really quick.
Mhm.
Go ahead and stop sharing. So if you change your release grade release policy, and
Mhm.
people have already had it hidden, you want to go and repost. So you should see, if you go to the column, you should see because the grades that were hidden before you change the policy will stay hidden until you repost. That could be it too. So you probably have an item here that says post grades.
No. Well, nothing is hidden. I have everything set to automatically. So
Right.
I only
If
see
you
high
but if you
grades.
change that setting sort of like after you had hidden some students, they'll stay hidden. That's just one idea that I have of why yours aren't posting. So check the column settings, and if there's a setting that says post grades, click that.
Got it. Okay. And then I had, sorry, go ahead.
And then there's a grade, you can actually adjust the grade posting policy by column. So check that too.
Okay.
Because you could have it set to automatic globally, but you can actually have column settings that override that.
I see. Okay.
So
And
check
then
both those.
got it. Will do. Thank you.
Sure.
One other question was in regards to automatically releasing grades throughout the entire semester so the students can see what their grade is like week to week. I don't know if I missed that during the presentation, or if there's a way to ensure that that setting is turned on so that the grades are constantly being released as items are being graded.
That would be this setting here.
Can you share?
Oh,
chat
I'm
with
sorry.
me? You stop sharing.
That would be, so back to this gearbox right here.
Hmm.
That would be grade posting policy automatically post grades.
Okay, got it. I have that turned on, so that should be good. Okay, thank you.
You should
Sure.
be good. Yes.